What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at some McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, DC Direct Page Puncher figures. So first up here in front, we've got Superman from Kingdom Come. So really cool. Absolutely love Kingdom Come, especially with the Alex Ross artwork we can see on the card. So really cool to have that Superman represented in a figure here. And then we also have Supergirl from Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. So just a more modern design of Supergirl, which looks cool. You know, pretty similar to the one we got not too long ago. Just minor differences. So we'll have to go through that and show it off. She comes with a cool sword there as well. And of course, these are page punchers, so they do come with the comics in the back. Now, I do also have the additional 2 figures from this wave as well to look at, but just to show you the comics, so there's from Kingdom Come, so Justice Society of America number 10 there, and Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow number 1, so very cool to have both of those. But as I showed you, we do also have the Red Platinum Edition versions, so we ordered the wave that came with these included, so we get Damage and Starman, both from Kingdom Come as well, so really cool to have those, just more characters to add for our Justice Society. Of course, we can spin around, see pretty much the same comic covers there as well, and I'll go into, of course, the story details and all that, but really cool to add these 2 characters along with it. Kind of stinks that they're Red Platinum Zone, harder to get, but like I said, thankfully we were able to order the wave that had them included. So we got these 4 figures to look at today, and I'm excited to check them out. So let me get them open out of the box, and we'll take a look at them together. So we're going to start off with Superman, again from Kingdom Come, which most of our figures will be today. So Kingdom Come was a 1996 4-issue comic series with artwork by Alex Ross that sees an alternate future of the DC Universe where the newer generations of heroes have become reckless and lost their moral compass, so the Justice League returns to battle and a conflict to define what heroism is. So we get Superman from that. Now he looks pretty good in his outfit, you know, looks pretty much like what he wears in Kingdom Come. My only issue with this figure is that he doesn't have enough white at his temples. Like, it looks like they maybe did like a little bit of a dry brush or something of white, which I don't even know if you can even see it. There's a little bit of whiteness at his temples there, but he should be much more white because he is much older Superman and everything. But otherwise, still looks good. You know, pretty decent face-wise. You know, not the best, but not bad at all. And then we get the Superman outfit where he's wearing mostly this dark blue outfit. Has a new S design on his chest with the black background and then red S on top of that. Has red underwear with a black belt with a gold buckle. Red boots on his feet as well. And then just has the cape on his back. So we get a nice fabric cape that has binding wire on the sides of it, so you can get that moved around and posed and everything. So overall, just kind of looks like a Superman. It's just an older age Superman. So like I said, it's supposed to have the whites there on his temples and stuff. Love that he still has a little curl on his head and everything. So just a decent looking Superman. But moon-wise, the head will twist all the way around, look down that far and up that far, so decent. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far on itself, so all the way. Get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and flex back and forth there. Then we get the ab crunch, so upper crunch and twist. And then at the waist, we get a little bit of a crunch and twist there as well. Then to the hips will come up to 90 and out to the side. He can do the splits. Little bit of a thigh twist in there. Double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. Not far from kicking his butt. And then we go down to the foot that'll rock back and forth. Twist side to side and toe joint on the end. So the standard McFarlane joints once again. So nothing new or surprising there for Superman. Now, accessory-wise, he does come with an extra set of hands, so we get the flying hands, but as I showed you with the movements, his head, once again, doesn't look up too far, so it's going to be hard to really get him to fly there, so don't really need those. And then he also comes with a flight stand we can put him on, you know, help keep him up in the air. Probably just use it as a base to stand him on those, since it does have the little peg in the bottom, so I'll just put him on that. So there, you just put Superman standing on the stand there. And of course, to go along with him, we have had another Kingdom Come figure before. So we've had the Kingdom Come Batman. So of course, we have Batman and Superman in that storyline. So we have old Batman now, where he's got to wear this all mechanical suit and stuff to still be Batman along with Superman. So we have our 2 characters there from Kingdom Come. And of course, we have other characters in this wave that are labeled as from Kingdom Come, although you don't really see them as much in the comics. But still cool to get this Superman, of course, a big part of that storyline and everything. And a really nice version to have Superman to add to the collection. And then we have Superman's cousin of Supergirl from Woman of Tomorrow. Now, she is also known as Kara Zor-El. She's the cousin of Superman from Krypton that was sent to Earth in a rocket by her father to save her life, but she arrived on Earth years after Kal-El and was adopted by the Danvers family. And in the Woman of Tomorrow series, we see Supergirl's adventures in space with Ruth Marie Knoll, where they're looking for justice for Ruth's father's death. So she looks pretty decent here, just this different version of Supergirl. Of course, looks pretty similar to the one we got before. I'll show you that comparison, but but there is some minor differences. Looks good. The face looks decent. Like, it's not that good. I don't like this as much, especially compared to the first one, but you know, it is just whatever art design they did there, and has more like curlier hair and everything, so much more volume and curl to it and everything. So I just don't like that head as much. But then we get her Supergirl outfit. So she has the light blue outfit or shirt this time with the S on her chest there, just like her cousin. She has the fabric cape hanging off her back with the S at the top of that, and again has the bendy wire around it. This time goes all the way around, even at the bottom there, so you can get that all posed up. Then we go down to her skirting. So she has this nice big like gold belt or whatever there around her waist, connecting into the skirt. Love how it's got the little bit of flow into it there. We do get some bare thighs up top, so that's one thing that's different. So you get the bare thighs with the red boots that come up all the way up there with some gold at the end of it. So it looks pretty good. And of course, it's not too dissimilar of a design and stuff, just a little bit different there from the knees up. But overall, looks pretty decent for a Supergirl. Like I said, face-wise isn't the best, but everything else I really like about it. But movement-wise, the head will twist around, so it should be able to twist all the way around. This goes around there. Say the hair's in the way a little, so it may cause some issues. So all the way around there, look down that far, and then up just about that far. So again, not a whole lot of range of the head. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly. It barely moves, just a little back and forth, and we'll twist around. We get a bicep twist because she's got the old, like I think it was the Catwoman arms or main body and stuff. So she has a twist at the arms there, and the double elbow joint that'll bend pretty much all the way up on itself. Get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and flex back and forth wherever the joint is. There it is, back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch under her chest, so crunch back and forth and twist around, and then she should be at the waist crunch and twist around there as well. Then we go down to the hips. That'll come up that far, so the skirting's not allowed really to go any further, and out to the side that far as well. No thigh twist on her, but the double knee joint that will bend up that far, almost kicking her butt. Down to the foot, they'll rock back and forth, twist side to side, and has the toe joint on the end. So yeah, it's pretty much the same body that we've had with the last Supergirl, and uses that Catwoman body and stuff, so nothing we've not seen before with her. But accessory-wise, she does come with some additional hands, so she has the flat palm hand like for flying, as well as a grip hand to hold the accessories she comes with. So she also comes with fist hands, so if you want to have her just fists, it would be those for flying or just punching up. Now for that grip hand, she does also come with a sword, which is the sword that killed Ruth Marie Knowles' father. So it's just this sort of sword there. Looks pretty nice silver blade and stuff. Looks pretty good overall, so let's put that in her grip hand. So there she's got that sword in her hand, so you can obviously try and get her posed up around holding that sword if you want. And of course she comes with a base we'll put her on. So there's Supergirl holding that sword. She looks awesome there. Now, as I mentioned, we have had Supergirl before, so this is that last one we got. Like I said, I think overall I like the look of this Supergirl more. I just like the thighs showing on this newer one, so where this one had the thighs completely covered up there. But otherwise, I think I like the look of this older one much more, so that's cool to see that. And then, of course, we also get her card there again from Woman of Tomorrow, so that's from the comic covers where she's holding that sword there. So that looks cool. And then, of course, we get the story on the back, which says an alien girl seeks out a melancholy, directionless Kar-Zor-El to help her take revenge on the bad guys who destroyed her world. Now a Kryptonian, a dog, and an angry, heartbroken child head into space on a journey that will shake them to their very core. So there's just more story about the Woman of Tomorrow storyline. So cool again to get the cards. Oh, and I forgot to show the Superman one off, so there's just a picture of him from Kingdom Come, but the story on the back is just specifically about Kingdom Come, nothing specifically with the Superman, but yeah, I forgot to show that off. But overall, pretty cool for the Supergirl. Like I said, I don't mind the design. Like, if the head was different, this would probably be my favorite Supergirl. I just like the colors and stuff for some reason. On that other one, like I said, I do like that it shows some of the thigh on this one, so I kind of like that more. But otherwise, I think I like the outfit design and everything a little bit more on the other one. But overall, not a bad Supergirl. And then moving over to our Red Platinum figures, we're starting off with Damage. Again, it's labeled as from Kingdom Come, but I didn't really notice him much in the comic. But he has been done in other Alex Ross artwork, especially at least for us, the famous photo of the Justice Society that he did. So it's really cool to get Damage along with Starman. They're both in that photo. So cool just to get them to add more of that Justice Society we're trying to build. But his real name is Grant Emerson, and he's the son of the original Adam, Albert Pratt, that was raised by a foster family. And he would eventually go on to become a member of the Justice Society of America. Now for powers, he's a living biochemical fusion reactor that constantly absorbs energy that he can manipulate, giving him superhuman strength, durability, and reflexes, as well as energy projection and fusion discharge like a bomb. So he looks cool here, pretty much like the picture that we'll get on the card and stuff. So he wears a lot of the blue and yellow design, so he's got mostly this all blue outfit, so a completely covered head there in blue, which looks decent. You can see his eyes around in there. And then we get the outfit design. We've seen this with like the Green Lanterns and stuff, where it's almost like the sweater comforter material, whatever you call it, so it looks all stitched or knitted and whatever. So you get blue up top and then blue down below all the way to his feet, so a lot of blue. Then we get a nice yellow like stripe here on his chest. That has like a biohazard logo or whatever that sort of design is there. Some red squares on his midsection as well as on his wrist there, again with the blue, of course, bare arms, and then just blue all the way down to the feet. And again, we've seen, like I said, this body design and everything, so it looks pretty good for damage. Like I said, just another character to add to our Justice Society. Now for movements, the head will twist all the way around, can look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent movements, best movements of the day so far. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly back and forth, twist around and rotate at the bicep. Double elbow joint that'll bend all the way up on itself there. Get the wrist that'll twist around and flex back and forth. Then we get the upper ab crunch back and forth, just a little, pretty much nothing, just a little shaking and then twist there. You got to kind of force it though, it's real stiff. And then at the waist, he'll crunch back and forth and twist all the way around there. Then we go down to the hips that'll come up towards 90 and out to the side, that far to the splits. Thigh twist up in there. The double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back. And then down to the foot that'll rock back and forth. Twist side to side and toe joint on the end. So good movements. Once again, like I said, probably the best movements of the day so far. So that's really nice. Of course, it doesn't have all the clothing and everything to get in the way. Now, unfortunately for these two figures, the only thing we get with them is bases. So we get a base, and we do put the red platinum sticker on the back just so we can keep that. So we peel it off the box and stick it on there so we know, and we can pop him on the base. So there we've got Damage now looking all cool. Like I said, not like the coolest design figure-wise, but I think like in the pictures and stuff, I think he does look cool. So at least they're trying to like bring over the design. And then, of course, we have his card. So there's a picture of him. I'm not sure, but I think that may be from that picture that I was telling you about, the Alex Ross one. So he just looks cool there. You know, you can see the outfit design carrying out through there. And then we get a story on the back of Grant Emerson, which says the boy that grew up to be Damaged was the product of an in utero genetic experimentation overseen by Vandal Savage on behalf of a company called Symbiotics. The research bore fruit, and when the child was born, Savage and had his mother killed and placed the infant called Grant Emerson with an abusive surrogate family. Grant's powers manifested when he was 16, and Symbiotics came to collect him, killing his foster family. Adopting the name Damage, he began learning how to use his powers with the New Titans and later joining the Justice Society of America. So there's more info on him than what I provide, so that's nice. So overall, pretty cool to have Damage. Like I said, I wish he came with more accessories. Don't know what he would come with or anything, but just wish there was something more with him. But again, cool to add him for our Justice Society. And finally, we have Starman, who is Thom Kalar. Now, he was born on an observatory satellite orbiting planet Xanathu to his astronomer parents. Now, he gained powers after getting caught in the tail of a comet, become known as Starboy as a member of the Legion of Superheroes, but he would become the new Starman in the JSA and help Superman during Kingdom Come. Now, he has superhuman strength and durability, as well as flight and density manipulation to increase the mass of an object or person and even create a black hole. So he looks pretty cool here, and it's going to be pretty much the same outfit and figure design as Damage as well, so still using like those Green Lantern bodies, just all in black this time. That has all the like little flake, I don't know if it's like glitter or something, but to make it look like a star field. That's the whole point of him. You can see it there in his head as well, so he has the completely masked face just like Damage, just whited out eyes, but has all like the glittery design, and again trying to be a star field there. So he's got white gloves on his hands as well as white boots, so that's the only thing. Then everything else is just all black with the glitter in it, again to make it look like he's stars and everything. So looks pretty cool design, with pretty basic and stuff. I think the way his like picture looks and stuff, he looks much cooler, but what they're trying to carry out here still looks pretty decent. Now, moon-wise will be the same as Damage, so head twist around, look down that far and up that far, so yeah, same head range. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate. Bicep twist, double elbow joint, bends all the way up on itself. Wrist twist around and flex back and forth. Upper ab crunch, this little crunch and twist. Of course, you gotta force it to twist, and then at the lower ab crunch and twist. Then down to the hips up to 90 and out to the side. You can do the splits, a little bit of a thigh twist, double knee joint up that far to the back, and then down to the foot, rock back and forth, twist side to side, and toe joint on the end. So yeah, exact same movements and everything as Damage, of course, since they share the same body, so it only makes sense. But overall, still a pretty cool, decent figure design there for Starman. Like I mentioned with Damage, the only thing we get with him is the base, and we put the sticker on the bottom of that. So that's all he comes with, and then of course we get his card as well. So there's a picture of him again. You can see the Starfield design of his body, has the white gloves and everything there. So it looks pretty cool there, and again another Alex Ross artwork. But then we get the story on the back, which says Thom Kalar was born in a floating observatory to astronomer parents from the planet Xanathu. As a result of his unique introduction to the universe, Thom developed power to borrow mass from stars to affect his own body and alter the weight of any object he concentrated on. He could also emit blast of stellar energy. So there's a little bit more detail. So overall, pretty cool to get Starman as well as Damage added to our collection. And like I said, we can add them to that Justice Society table design that we're going after. So very cool to add Starman as well. So that's it for our DC Multiverse page puncher figures, where we got the Kingdom Come Superman and Woman of Tomorrow Supergirl, along with our red platinum figures of Starman and Damage. So really cool for all these figures, and I really like having the Superman for Kingdom Come just because I love that book and the Alex Ross artwork and everything. Figure is fine though, you know, it doesn't exactly pull off, like I said, because of the white at the temples, but still looks like the Kingdom Come Superman with the outfit. The Supergirl is good. I like the design, like she comes with a sword. Like I said, just wish that head was different. And then the Starman and Damage are both cool. Like I said, mostly though, just to add them to our version of the JSA. So let me know what you thought of these 4 figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know what that like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.